Indigenous peoples and local communities often live in areas with high levels of biodiversity, and their knowledge and practices are key to protecting and restoring it. They have inherited traditional knowledge and skills that have been passed down from generations, which have helped them sustainably manage resources while conserving threatened species. They are key actors in conservation efforts but are also uniquely vulnerable to the degradation of ecosystems. While environmental policies and management strategies can have direct impacts on their communities and livelihoods, these communities and their knowledge are often excluded from decision-making processes. The Kunming Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework recognizes the critical role of Indigenous peoples in managing biodiversity and provides specific considerations to ensure their meaningful participation and protection. BES-Net is committed to supporting Indigenous and local communities and promoting the harmonization of the vital traditional knowledge into biodiversity policy and planning, in line with the goals and targets of the Global Biodiversity Framework. By employing the guidelines of the multiple evidence base and applying a human rights approach to conservation efforts, BES-Net is furthering this mission, enhancing knowledge, practice and ethics, to move towards the sustainable use and management of biodiversity and ecosystem services. The multiple evidence base approach is an inclusive guide for collaboration across multiple knowledge systems, based on equity and usefulness for all actors involved. It emphasizes that Indigenous, local and scientific knowledge systems are complementary, equally valid and useful for informing sustainable governance of biodiversity and ecosystems. A human rights-based approach ensures the meaningful and systematic inclusion and empowerment of the most vulnerable in society and seeks to integrate human rights within the heart of decision-making for transformative change. BES-Net recognizes that inequality and marginalization hinder progress in all facets of sustainable development, and in order to meet the targets and goals set out in the Global Biodiversity Framework, it is essential to work with Indigenous peoples and local communities and involve them in conservation efforts. Not only can they offer traditional and cultural values and an understanding of the importance of living in harmony with the environment, but failure to cooperate can lead to significant misunderstandings, conflicts and more biodiversity loss. Everyone, everywhere, has a right to a safe and healthy environment and to active participation in decision-making processes that affect the enjoyment of their rights. BES-Net is working to make that a reality.